Trump plans to end immigration protection for some Somalis in Minnesota. He said on Friday was immediately ending temporary immigration protections for a group of Somalis living in Minnesota, the latest group the president has targeted in his mass deportation push. This is Wall Street Journal. Trump said on Friday night post on Truth Social that he would be stripping what is known. Minnesota governs a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. I am, as president of the United States, hereby terminating effective immediately the temporary protection status for Somalis in Minnesota. Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of the great state, and billions of dollars are missing. Send them back to where they came from. It's over, President DJT. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, a Democrat, said in a post on X on Friday, he said he's exploring his options to respond. Donald Trump cannot terminate TPS for just one state or on a bigoted whim. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, a Democrat, said on a post, it's not surprising that the president has chosen to broadly target an entire community. This is what happens when, this is what he does to change the subject. So, Vinny, when you hear this story, I mean, I got a couple other things I'm going to get to as well. But just with this, how do you process this story?
Well, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I was going to say Somalia, Minnesota, Little Somalia, what they want to call, whatever they want to call it.
Little Mogadishu.
Little Mogadishu has been on the news. And if you notice, Pat, Tim Walz, Tampon Tim and Ilhan Omar, kind of quiet last week, kind of quiet. We talked about all the fraud. It's allegedly been carried out by members of the Somali community, okay? Hundreds of millions of dollars were stolen. This is the story we did last week. Sent back to Somalia. And guess what? It ended up in the hands of Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization. That's why they're all crickets, okay? One source even said bigger. He said that the biggest funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer. Okay, and just this week, the 77th person in Minnesota was arrested in a $250 million fraud case against most of them are Somali immigrants. Trump, like you said, has ended the deportation status. And now recently, I think it was Friday, Rob, a Somalian officer in Minnesota, Pat, told the Somali community, and I'm quoting him, as Somalian police officers, we work for you. And that is why we are different
did you see that video?
From foreigners and white officers. Pat, can we play this?
Go for it.
markaan haddaan askarnahay Soomaaliyeed ininka inii shaqeynaa habeenii maalmo ininka inii taaganahay
day and night we stand for you and serve you.
Horta sidaa ogtihiinba wadankan anaga qaxootiyan
country
nimaadnay askar Soomaaliya ma jiri
There were no Somalian police
marka hadda anaga markii nala haygeliyay waxaan noqotay inaan dadkeena u shaqeyno dadkii dhaqankeena fahmayna luqadina fahmayna culturekeena fahmayna marka qofka kale mataqaana ajnabiga abadaanka iyo anaga kala because qofkii gaabkii waxa we build that bridge guys marka insha Allah waa mahadsantiin again ogaada and askari kasta oo Soomaaliya dalka iyo dawladaba inuu ku shaqeeyaa habeenkii marka hurdaan iyo marka mataqaana achievetaanba ininka inii taaganahay oo
So, mind you, I don't know if you guys know this or not, police are supposed to serve everyone equally, okay? The moment you pledge loyalty to a certain group, you're not upholding the law. The badge means nothing at that point, okay? Your loyalty, again, is the law. And, like I mentioned, Ilhan Omar, you guys notice she's the biggest mouth, the biggest crap-talking, Trump this, fascist, Hitler, Nazi. She's been quiet. But last week, this is her. Oh, she emerged last week when they were talking about Epstein, and look what she called the Republican Party.
Tom Emmer has been a huge part of what I call the pedophile protection party. They've done every single thing possible to make sure that these files on Epstein were not going to be released.
If you think about it, is that pretty ironic? She called the Republican Party the pedophile protection party, but she praised to a prophet that was the most prolific pedophile, Aisha, 6 years old, and what married her at 9. So let's be honest, then she's in the pedophile worship party. And again, allegedly, she married her brother for citizenship for him. So it's so rich to hear her talking that nonsense about an entire party. Meanwhile, she's praying to this guy. And I think, Pat, there's so much bad happening in freaking Minnesota, and I'm so happy that Trump is making these moves because enough is enough. How much more are they going to be milking off the taxpayer, hating the freaking country, having police officers that are like, hey, I'm all about Somalis and talking crap about white officers and other officers? No, that's what we were talking about, slowly coming in, doing their thing, multiplying, hating the country, and this is what we get.
Tom.
You know, what really was I found very galling on this was police chief, I think it's Brian O'Hara. Yep, Brian O'Hara. So he says, hey, we solved this crime. We arrested some people. Quote, they were part of a group of Somali youth who have been involved in a number of violent crimes in our city. That's all he said. Mm-hmm. But immediately they all went hard to the hoop. And they said, outrage from community leaders. I can't believe you're saying this. You're stereotyping us. Wait a minute. When the police chief in Los Angeles says, you know, the Crips and Bloods have got groups of youth in them that have been brought, you know, recruited to each other that are committing crimes and terrorizing part of the cities. They're not stereotyping all African Americans. They're talking about this group. And he took such heat, he came back and actually took it back. I take full responsibility for my poor choice of words. My intent was to provide context and the pain I have caused. Now you're confessing that just saying to the people, hey, there's a group of Somali youth, not all of them, yes, a group of Somali youth that are doing some really bad things, and we have to go out there and restore law and order. And this is what happens when you don't have assimilation, right?
Exactly.
You have a group that wants to maintain. This is the difference between invasion and assimilation. There, I said it.
Bingo.
Ooh, Tom went there.
Adam.
So, two things. I have no problem with police officers looking like the community that they serve and protect. So if you're Mexican, you're Mexican in the Mexican community.
Good.
If you're black,
fine.
In an African American community in Compton, wherever it may be, in Jews in Brooklyn, whatever it may be, you should serve and protect your community. It builds trust. You can communicate. There's respect level there. I'm an advocate for that. The challenge that we're going to have with these types of communities is really the biggest question that I think we're going to deal with from a socioeconomic standpoint, and that is this. Is Islamism compatible with Western American values? That's the question. And I'm not talking about individuals. I have Muslim friends. I have Jewish friends. I have Mexican friends. I have Japanese friends. I have Japanese. As long as you assimilate to American culture, we good. But if you try to keep your own culture, Sharia law type stuff, in American cities, that's where you lose.
And
people.
did you know it's not? Pat, I looked it up. It's not. You know, Sharia law to being implemented here. It's not illegal.
Well, so the fastest growing community of Muslim community in America. Do you know what city it is? It's in Houston, Texas. Ironically.
Yeah.
So we get preoccupied with Dearborn. We talk about
it's
Minneapolis. It's happening in each of these cities. Governor Abbott, I believe, outlawed Sharia law in Texas. Rob, you can fact check that, please. What eventually will happen is each state is going to have to just outlaw this nonsense and say, come and assimilate to America. Correct. We want you. We like you. We love you. You're all welcome if you follow American values and laws. Straight up.
Because I'm almost positive, Adam. If he did it, that's good. Answer. But I think constitutionally, it's not illegal to impose Sharia law. If I'm not mistaken, Rob. If I'm not mistaken, which I don't think is a good thing.
Rob, while it's doing that, did you have the clip of the officer apologizing for identifying Somalians?
Yes.
Did you guys see this clip?
No.
Watch this here. Go for it.
The Somali community here in Minneapolis has been welcoming and has shown love towards me, and I appreciate it. Over the last 3 years, we have been working together to try and address some of the real serious problems that we have in our community. We have to be honest at times with the problems that we're having in our community, and we need our community to help us fix those problems together because it's real and it's serious. At the same time, if people have taken anything that I have said out of context in a way that's caused harm, I apologize and I'm sorry for that because that's not my intention at all.
Oh, man.
Apologizing for the other guy taking your words out of context?
Yeah, I didn't take him out of context. He did.
My gosh, we'd spend all day doing that. I'd really like to apologize for all the people that jumped up on X and took my words out of context here on the podcast and got all upset. I'm so sorry.
Like they had him hostage. Like, have you seen Captain Phillips? That's exactly what that scene looked like. Like, I am the captain now. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to be the captain.
This is where you end up when you don't have the guardrails. He didn't start out there. He ended up there. Minneapolis Police Department didn't start out there. They ended up there.
And Rob, what is the idea where they sent $20 million over to, let's address that real quick, the Sharia law, if you don't mind. So the Greg Abbott outlaws Sharia law in Texas. Yes, Abbott has signed legislation, made statements saying that what he refers to as Sharia law in Texas, but the legal scope of meaning what he calls that is narrower and more complex than a blanket outline of religious practice. So it's not going to be as easy as, one thing for him to be able to ban it. But Adam, were you going to say something on this?
I was going to make a different point, but go ahead, sir.
Rob, that other clip, you had a clip there. Is this the one that's saying they're funding?
Yes.
Go for it. Watch this. Your Minnesota taxpayers funding terror group.
Al-Shabaab thing?
Go ahead. Yes.
Is the biggest funder of Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda-linked terror group in Somalia, actually the Minnesota taxpayer? A federal investigator says yes. An alarming claim first reported by City Journal, which spoke with multiple former federal agents. The U.S. Attorney's Office has charged dozens of defendants across multiple schemes, including housing aid fraud, pandemic child nutrition fraud, and false billing for autism therapy. In total, prosecutors say these schemes have cost Minnesota taxpayers billions of dollars.
Still, there are people that legitimately could use those resources that are not getting those resources. It's past criminal.
Minnesota is home to one of the country's largest Somali communities. Former state fraud investigator Keish Magan, himself a Somali American, wrote last year that it's uncomfortable and true that nearly all defendants in these major fraud cases come from that community.
Good for him.
They have taken advantage of the most generous country in the world and one of the most generous states in that country.
And according to City Journal, some of the stolen money was
shoot each
sent
other in the back. What are they
overseas through
doing?
informal cash transfer networks. Investigators say once that cash arrived in Somalia, Al-Shabaab took a cut, whether the sender intended that or not.
Pretty much across the board, people that I spoke to said there really isn't a law enforcement solution to this problem. As you said, that's simply playing whack-a-mole. People pretty consistently told me that, there needs to be a policy change here.
Critics claim Minnesota leaders have tiptoed around the issue, fearing a backlash from the state's powerful Somali American voting bloc.
Stop it right
Pat,
there.
so you mean
There it is.
Wait a minute. Billions of tax dollars that you guys are stealing from the American taxpayer are going to a terrorist organization in another country. And how is that not headline news?
Of course. Here's the challenge. Tom brought up a good point about assimilation, right? My question is, how do you define assimilate? What does that actually mean? Sort of like a catch-all term. You got to assimilate. You know what I have a problem with? And dude, I go crazy on these people. In Miami, born and raised, Cubans, Haitians, Jamaicans, Venezuelans, who have been here for 10, 20, 30 years, no Inglés. No Inglés. And I drive Uber. They're all Uber drivers. They say, ¿de dónde eres? Cuba. ¿Cuántos años vive en Miami? 10 años. 10 años. ¿Hablas inglés? No. You've been living in Miami 10 years. You got no English, bro? Zero? No, senor, no. I said, but to me that's horrible. I went to, we have a McDonald's right here. The lady had the worst hospitality ever and spoke no English. I said, pick one, lady. You can either have great hospitality and no English, I'll deal with you, or shitty hospitality and speak English, I'll still deal with you. You got bad hospitality and no English, get the hell out of here. So I freak out. The challenge with them, they're not assimilating, but they're not funding terrorism. Exactly. They're not burning the American flag.
Very true.
That's the biggest problem here. They're not basically funding Al-Shabaab or Al-Qaeda or the Free Palestine Hamas movement. I'm not worried that Haitians, maybe they're eating the cats, which is not true, by the way. But I'm not worried that they're going to be sending money to terror networks or burning the American flag. That's the problem.
And then the congressman...
These people are looking to populate and dominate. How many videos have you seen people in America saying, we're coming for you, we're taking over your churches, we're going to dominate America, and inshallah, America will be Islamic one day.
And we're having more kids.
Hell to the no.
Yep.
That's the problem.
And hold on.
And 4,500 a kid.
And to put the cherry on top, then you have the congresswoman constantly bashing the country, constantly crapping on our president.
Hijab.
In a hijab.
Yes.
Don't give me a break, bro.
Stop.
Give me a break.
While this is going on, here's from Detroit Free Press. Expectant mothers in Dearborn, you ready? To be getting $4,500. Mayor announces in state of the city. Do you know what this means? Watch this clip here. Go for it, Rob.
Oh, that's that guy.
Yeah.
If you had a baby as of November 1 or are currently pregnant, you are eligible for up to $4,500. I would just have 3 kids. Dearborn RX Kids is finally here. We worked for this program for over 2 years, and if you're pregnant now, had a baby after November 1st, you're eligible. Dearborn produces more babies per capita than any other city in Michigan, roughly 1,700 babies, which is why it's important that this program is live and well right here in the city of Dearborn.
Is that the same mayor that said that you're not welcome here? Because the guy was complaining?
To a pastor, I believe.
And by the way, more babies per capita in Dearborn than anybody else in the United States. If the stat is true that he's saying, and we're relying on this, it appears to be credible, or Michigan.
I think he said in Michigan, yeah.
Okay, then
correct.
What they're saying is in Dearborn, this is what we've been saying. Americans, you got to have kids. You got to have kids, and you got to bring them up a certain way. Otherwise, combination of immigration and them having it, they're going to, the phrase is known as breed you out. That's what's going to happen, and now they're getting paid for it. We've been working so hard. This is a form of handout to a immigrant group that's running a high fecundity rate.
If they want a battle time, we should have like a Woodstock, but just everybody get in that stadium and just...
Here's why this is so bad.
I'm trying to multiply.
Because we're no fans of a welfare state in America, and we are certainly no fans of an Islamic state in America. This is both of those combined. An Islamic welfare state in Dearborn. Hail to the nah, mashallah, no way.
Well, they're doing it.
Beautiful
I mean, if you want to find a way to move that money over, that's what you would do. And by the way, that's the same guy. Rob, is that the same guy that you got the clip of? Watch this here. This is him. He says this to an American. Go ahead.
I mean, Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel that's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe, and although you live here, I want you to know, as mayor, you are not welcome here.
Oh, wow.
And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city, because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
Have you ever heard of a mayor speak to a citizen like that? Because he's saying, hey, listen, if you guys are doing this and you're funding this, and
I've heard a lot of mayors say
please find out
those
the name
that have
of the
constituents.
streets they were naming the people after.
That is insane.
What do you mean, Tom?
There's a lot of mayors that'll say that. Those that are not afraid of the re-election because they've got their
their people are
constituents and they got their voters and they have their voting block. He knows that there's a large group of voters that have his back that love what he's about to say. But you can't say that. You can't say that if you're not who he is.
Yep.
By the way, he was complaining that they were naming the street after a known Hezbollah terrorist. Cool. Let's compartmentalize that. Did you see what they did in Europe? This is a known thing. The Muslim Brotherhood, which we're going to hear that name over and over and over again because their 50-year plan to infiltrate the West, which is halfway there. They said use the term Islamophobe as much as possible.
Yeah.
And look at London. Look at Paris. Look at Berlin. They use that term
a long time.
They use that term to deflect after their real plan. Nobody's scared unless you're actually trying to change our complete community and our culture. Then you should be scared.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen.
By the way, it's a Muslim guy talking about coexistence. Tell me that's not ironic.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, makes you think when you hear that, right? The FLB shoes. By the way, I am officially on, let me see this. I'm on day 57 out of 58 that I've worn these shoes. Love wearing these shoes every single day. I think Vinny's got it on. The other night we went to dinner. Vinny was wearing this black pants, white shirt with the FLB shoes. We walk into the restaurant, 7 girls lined up waiting to meet with Vinny.
One girl was crying. She was crying. She was shaking.
She was crying. She was shaking.
The shoes. Yeah. I was like, I can't.
Are you Ringo Starr?
So for those of you guys that are asking about getting the shoes before Christmas for your husband or your sons or your friend, this is what you want to be thinking about. Size black and brown. Size black and brown. Let me see this thing here from Langhorne. So let's go to some partners or what's available. So size black and brown. If you want to get them, size 9, 10, and 11 are available to get before Christmas. White, all sizes are available except for 7, 7.5, and 8.5. Navy, 8, 9, 9.5, 10, and 11 are available before Christmas. Of course, after Christmas, shipment is coming. That'll be here New Year's. These things, we can't even keep these on the shelves, to be honest with you, with the shoes. Once you put them on, just go read the reviews, with people reading reviews, writing reviews when they bought them. Once you put them on, you'll realize why this has become as hot of an item for us as we expected it. Took us 2 years to do this, Rob. If you want to play the clip on that, we'll get into the stories. Here's the FLB shoes. Go for it. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. I love it. Designed in Florida, 100% made in Italy. Folks, if you haven't yet ordered one, we had 2 guys yesterday that ordered 4 of all colors. And one of them was from UK. The other one was from Belgium or something like that, ordering these shoes. If you want to find out how it matches against everybody else, go to vtmerch.com. On the homepage, you'll see the shoes. Click on the link to go learn more about the shoes and place an order for your husband, for your spouse, for your son, for somebody maybe that works for your company as a recognition. And go to vtmerch.com to place your order.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.